Hello guys, I'm Anastasia and in today's video we are going to do infill. So these nails are 3.5 weeks old, which I think is the good time to do a refill, and this work was done by a different nail technician, but I really trust her. She's my student, so that's why I'm doing a refill now. But usually I do not take somebody else's work. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about it? Like, do you do refills for other nail technicians' work, or you only accept your clients, or maybe you charge extra for it? I'm just curious. So I'm starting with this cone-shaped drill bit with a black abrasive, which is coarse, and I want to remove the old product from the top. I want to remove all the smile lines, all the glitter. It was all done with a gel. And also I will remove a little extra thickness from the top, as well as glossy top coat, and if we will see some lifting, we will remove it as well. So I'm working at 25,000 rotations per minute speed, which is pretty fast, and my goal is now not only to remove the top layer but also to make nails pretty flat. Like, I'm also going to remove the apex because I want to build it with a new product. As you can see, there is not much lifting, so that means we won't have much work to do. And I finish up with the corners. As we have smile lines here, it's pretty easy to tell when we are done working with this nail, but this shape of the drill bit is pretty wide and large, so I do not recommend to work too close to the cuticle. So that's why I will leave it for the next step. And now I'm done with this nail and I will switch to the next one.
I feel like I've been locked up tight for a century of lonely nights, waiting for someone to release me. You're licking your lips and blowing kisses my way, but that don't mean I'm gonna give it away. Baby, baby, baby. Oh, oh, oh. My body's saying let's go, but my heart is saying no. If you wanna be with me, baby, there's a price to pay. I'm a genie in a bottle, you gotta rub me the right way. If you wanna be with me, I can make your wish come true. You gotta make a big impression, you gotta like what you do. I'm a genie in a bottle, baby, gotta rub me the right way, honey. I'm a genie in a bottle, baby. Come, come, come on and let me out. Music's fading and the lights down low. Just one more dance and then we're good to go. Waiting for someone who needs me. Hormones raising at the speed of light, but that don't mean it's gotta be tonight. Baby, baby, baby. Oh, oh, oh. My body's saying let's go, but my heart is saying no. If you wanna be with me, baby, there's a price to pay. I'm a genie in a bottle, you gotta rub me the right way. If you wanna be with me, I can make your wish come true. You gotta make a big impression, you gotta like what you do. I'm a genie in a bottle.
After we are done with that bit, I will switch to another one. This one is more narrow and also it has green abrasive, which means it's softer. It's still medium coarse, but it's way softer than the black one. And also the shape is different. So now I can work really close to the cuticle without being afraid to cut the skin or to damage the natural nail plate. Also, I can work along the sidewalls, and I really like this bit. It's good for removing lifting. So if you look closely, you can now see that on this nail there is a slight lifting on the right side near the cuticle. So the right way to remove it is first to file off the thickness of the product around the lifting. And then I will slowly go closer to the lifting itself, and it will be pretty easy to remove it. So the biggest mistake when working with the lifting and removing it is that when you try to file the lifting itself or even the natural nail around it. And this is completely wrong because we can simply overfile the nail plate and still have some lifting left there. So what you need to do is to file the product which is close to the lifting first until it's completely thin, and then I carefully go closer. But if you are not feel skillful enough, if you know that you cannot feel the drill bit, the electric file that well yet, then you can first remove the thickness with a drill bit and then switch to a hand nail file and do all the same but with a hand file. So now you can see we removed the lifting, and also there was a small crack on the side which we removed as well. So here I continue removing the old product, and also we can see a slight lifting right here, but this one is pretty small so it won't be hard to remove it. But also you see I'm not trying to file the lifting right away. First I file all the product around it and then carefully move it. I don't know if you can really see it, but this is very also important. When removing lifting, you are not supposed to touch nail plate, especially with this abrasive drill bit, because it's just one touch and it's overfiled. So pay close attention and work only with the product. Like I said, if you don't feel confident enough, you can even switch to a finer abrasive, like with a red mark, or even to a hand file. So just to make sure that you will not overfile the natural nail plate. Okay, so here I'm working. I just want to remove an extra thickness to make the surface as smooth as possible, because when it's smooth it will be way easier for you to apply the product. Do not leave any bumps or dips, because if you do, you will have an extra work to level them up, and time is money, so we want to make as much work possible as we can now, so you can faster do the application and the final filing. So here I continue to remove the old color as well as some spots of the glossy top coat near the cuticle. And here on this nail there is no lifting near the cuticle or on the top, which makes our work way faster. So I only need to remove it now here along the sidewall. Oh well, we have just a slight lifting here, but it's really fast and easy to remove. And then we're finishing this step and going to the next one. After removing product from the top, I want to file off the Grow Natural nail from underneath. So I'm using the same bit I just used to file the surface, so I do not have to switch it. I'm working at 20,000 per minute rotations, which is slightly slower than I worked on my previous step. And here I'm removing the extra product underneath so I can build a new deeper C curve. And at the same time, I'm carefully removing the natural nail. But due to the shape of this drill bit, I cannot really get deep under the nail fold. So that's why I'm just being careful here, and the main goal for this step is only to remove the thickness. Also, sometimes when doing the extensions, if you're not very good at working with forms yet, sometimes you might have a gap there underneath. So this step will really help you to remove it and to make the surface underneath very smooth. It is important to hold the drill bit really flat so you will not overfile any dip or hole right there. And sometimes for flat nails or for nails that are downwards growing naturally, this step is extremely helpful to make them straight again, and it also just makes the look underneath the nails cleaner and better. Also, if you are doing some kind of design when you have glitter underneath, for example, you can also clean it with this step pretty easy and fast. So when we are done cleaning underneath, we also have to carefully shorten the natural nail. So I'm using a different nail bit, I call it needle shaped. This is red abrasive, which is medium fine. It's a lot softer than the previous one, so that's why I can carefully work with it and go deeper, closer to the hyponychium, and do not be afraid that I will damage the skin because it's pretty soft. And as you can see, even though it is called needle, it's not really sharp. The edge is not too sharp, so that's why I can easily work and remove the natural nail. This is very important to remove it because if you won't, it will constantly separate and lift underneath, because that's how the nails want to grow. They always want to curve a little, and the product doesn't. So usually when we turn our hand around our client's hands, what we can see is that natural nails, they turned yellow or grayish, which doesn't look as good and clean. And also, if you're suffering, if your clients experience such problems as lifting as a big bubble right in the center of this nail, sometimes the problem is that you haven't removed the natural nail underneath, so the lifting started right from the center and then it slowly goes wider and wider until the whole nail just carefully comes off without any breaking or pain. After that, we only need to prep the natural nail, and you can do it using a hand file, but I prefer to use an electric file as well, so I am using the flame bit with the red abrasive, which is medium fine, and this is the best abrasive to work with a natural nail. And this is a diamond bit. This is not carbide like the ones I used before, so it's pretty soft, and it's also important to hold it flat so we will not overfile the natural nail plate. So what I'm doing now is I'm cleaning the cuticle underneath, and also I'm cleaning the outgrown nail plate, as well as removing the old product and the surface shine all at once. So first I work on the left side with a right rotation, which is clockwise, and after I'm done with this side, I will switch my electric drill to the left rotations, which is counterclockwise, and do the same but on the opposite side, which is right side to me. So I'm doing only half of the cuticle now on the opposite side, and it really saves time when you first do only one side on all 10 nails, and then you switch to the opposite and do the other side on all 10 nails as well. Just make sure all the skin, all the cuticle is very clean, as well as the nail plate. So after that, we can only finish the manicure. We can cut or trim the cuticles with electric file or with scissors, and then it's time to do the application. Do not forget to remove all the dust, and now I'm applying dehydrator. You need to make sure it's completely dry, and then primer. As I'm going to work with acrylic, I am using non-acid primer Attract by NSI. And on this nail we have a product missing right here, that's why I will start with it. I will take a bead of Cover Pink and carefully stretch it all around this area. I'm using brush number 8. This is my favorite size of the brush. And then with the whole body of my brush, I will carefully fill this gap. And as you can see, I'm not pressing too much, because if I will, the product will squeeze downwards, which we do not want, because we will have an extra work then to file it underneath with electric file again. So that's why I'm being careful here. And after we're done with this step, we only can work with the brush to make the surface even more smooth. And now basically we only need to fill in the area where the natural nail is, right here. So if there's a refill without any broken nails or cracks, it goes pretty fast because there's not much work to do. So make sure your clients know that the 3 to 4 weeks is the best time to do the refill. They're not supposed to have like 5, 6, or even more weeks without it. So I decided to add a small bead right here first because I still have some small area with a missing sidewall on the right side. And when you want to add something and there is no form or nail underneath, what you need to do is to take really dry consistency. So now I need to build a new apex. I'm just applying the bead, stretching it towards the free edge, turn my brush around and carefully stretch it to the opposite direction, but do not go right to the cuticle because we are going to use a different color there. And like I always tell my students, try to do your best with the brush. Work as long as you can until the product allows you to, because we're artists. We're supposed to work with a brush rather than with a file. So sculpt and build the nails as close as you can to the perfect shape so you won't have to file them a lot. Now I will take another bead and place it right here. And I know that some nail technicians have this problem. They're like, oh, I'm using so many beads, like 10 per nail. It's too much. Like, I need to hurry, so I will apply only 1 or 2, and then I will, really fast file it all off. So the thing is, sometimes it actually makes sense to use more beads so you can sculpt a better shape, because filing will still take you way more time and effort and extra product, right? So when you are in doubt, when you still see that there's not enough product, like right here on the sidewall, we can see that the product is still missing there. I will rather take another bead, add it carefully, look on the nail from all different points of view and make sure that it's complete and sculpted well, rather than hurry to the next step, and when I start filing, then I will realize that there's still not enough product. Okay, so the last step is a semi-translucent pink. I'm using the Perfect Pink by NSI, and this is relatively small bead which I place right here. I always use this color near the cuticle because translucent pink powders, they have less pigments in there, so they usually create a better adhesion, and also when the nails will start to grow off, it will look better and more natural because there will be no this cover color which is too much different from the natural nail plate color. Okay, and we are done with this nail, and then we will switch to the next one. So when you're working with the whole hand, you can definitely take the hydrator, apply it on all 10 nails, take the primer, apply it on all 10 nails. Right now I'm doing one nail at a time just because I'm filming as well, and it takes time. It takes time, and primer, they usually work about 40 minutes. So if you're just getting started, if you know that your work takes you longer, like after preparation, it will take you more than 40 minutes to sculpt, all nails, then you can also apply dehydrated primer, let's say on one hand first, do the application, and then switch to the another hand. So I will do all the same here. Dehydrator, primer, and application. And as you can see on other nails, there is no cracks on the side, so here the work will go much faster because we only need to add some product to the apex area as well as to the cuticle area. And we're almost done. So when you finished all the application, I recommend you to double check nails from different views. Make sure that you have apex, that the cuticle area is thin, and that you have product everywhere you need. After that, we need to file and buff and apply the top coat or apply gel or do some design. So when we finished this nail, we decided to do this Dolce & Gabbana style design with the rhinestones. And if you would like to see this tutorial as well, do not forget to subscribe so you will not miss it. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know if you experience any problems with the infills or refills. Maybe I should do some other videos covering this topic. And thank you. See you on my next video. Goodbye.